Dr. Dave here. I am going to put together a natural painkiller. Now, I suffer with arthritis in my lower spine and my hips, and I suffer pain in my back and all the way down from my hips all the way down sometimes to my feet. And over the years I have taken so much Tylenol, ibuprofen, aspirin, Aleve, muscle relaxers, all kinds of different ways to alleviate pain that I'm sure that over the course of years I've done a lot of harm to my liver and other organs in my body. And so I began to, about a year ago, I began to get really interested in finding a way to alleviate pain without loading my body up full of chemicals that were not working. I even took some hydrocodone given by doctors, but that stuff is poison. So I searched to find something that looked like, I believed, would help. And so I believe that I found something, and the reason I believe it is because it works for me. And so because it works for me, I have gotten away from all kinds of over-the-counter and prescription painkillers. Now, this may not work for everyone, but for me, this works. And it's all natural food. There is no chemicals, there's no byproducts, no poisons, no nothing. And so what it is just five little basic ingredients that are in every home and in every cupboard. We are going to use paprika, cayenne pepper, and turmeric. Now, all three of these, the paprika, the cayenne pepper, and the turmeric, all three of these provide an analgesic for disrupting the firing between the nerve synapses and alleviates pain. Now, this works for me, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that it might help you. Now, there is one other ingredient that it's bioflavonoid. Now, bioflavonoid is the white pithy part of, oh man, that thing is tight, citrus fruit that most people throw away. Now, it is one of the most amazing and one of the most powerful things that you can put in your body to break up blood clots and dissolve blood clots and open the circulatory system, and it is amazing as a carrier or for these three other ingredients. Now, some people say that when you use turmeric to also use black pepper, but I have found in using the black pepper doesn't really change anything, and so you can either use it or disregard it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a blender. Now, I use an Oster blender, and the reason I do is because it is metal to metal. It is metal to metal. The drive is metal, and the attachment that goes onto the driver is also metal. Now I'm sure that maybe my camera's not really picking that up. But there is something I'd like to share with everybody. Now when you buy or get a blender, the rubber washer is here. It's inside, it's on top of the blade rotator shaft, and because I used my blender to grind up a lot of really woody, hard things, I have discovered that if you put the rubber washer underneath the turntable instead of on top of it, you save your rubber washer. And because you get those woody particles spinning in there at great force, it just tears that rubber up, and then you've got rubber particles in what you're trying to do. So I put the washer underneath the blade turntable to protect it, and I find that it works excellent. So now the way to make this is 1 tablespoon of paprika, 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper, 1 tablespoon of turmeric in a blender. Now that's a little bit too spicy for me. So what I do is I cut it down to 3/4 of a tablespoon of each ingredient, so that it's not quite so hot. Now this in the mouth is really hot, and but in the throat and in the stomach it's not. So I'm going 3/4 of a tablespoon of each one of these ingredients, so that I get a good volume of an analgesic or pain reliever, but I don't overload my chili sensitivity, if you will. Now be careful with turmeric, because anything it touches, it's going to turn it yellow forever. So those 3 go in there. Now I have the bioflavonoid of a grapefruit, which I've dried. Now if you don't have, or you don't have time to dry the bioflavonoid, just grapefruit. Now I take a carrot peeler or a potato peeler, and I peel the outside skin off of the fruit. That gets rid of any particles or insecticides or herbicides that may be on that fruit. That takes it off. And so, but you can just take it off fresh and put it in here. It doesn't have to be dry. So, but if you have it dried, we'll break it up. Now this will cause the mix to be thick. This will thicken the mix. And so expect it to be slightly thick. And then I'm going to add about a cup to a cup and a half. I'm going to have about a cup and a half of water to that. And now there is one ingredient that I forgot, and so I am ready to finish this, and that ingredient is pineapple. I'm going to put about 3/4 of a small pineapple in here. And so what I want to do is blend the paprika, the cayenne pepper, the turmeric, and the bioflavonoid of a grapefruit. I want to blend it together. About a minute and a half, running. Add the pineapple. You want to let this run for a good 2 minutes, maybe even 3, to get all of that blended in there. But for the sake of time, I'm going to, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to shut it off. And then once I have finished the video, I will blend it for about 2 more minutes. And so then what you do is you get a glass container with a lid. Now don't put it in plastic, not unless you just don't have any other recourse, because the elements within this recipe will draw the some of the smell, the flavors, the chemicals that are in the plastic. It will draw it out into this. So put this in glass. Now when you take this, I consume it at 2 tablespoons at a time. Just like most normal medications, 2 tablespoons per dose. And first you taste the pineapple, and then you taste the fire. It is hot. And so, but it is for me, and I pray that it is for you, effective. And it alleviates my pain in about 12 to 15 minutes. And I've taken other pain relievers that take up to 2 hours. And so within 15 minutes, I begin to notice, and sometimes the pain goes away and I don't even notice that it's gone until all of a sudden I realize I'm doing things that I normally can't do. And so 2 tablespoons at a time. You can take it as often as you wish. You can take as much as you wish. You don't have to limit yourself. It's not habit forming, it's not dangerous, it's just hot. So this will alleviate pain, fibromyalgia, body aches and pains, foot pain, nerve pain, diabetic nerve pain. It sprains and all kinds of different types of body aches and pains. Plus, it has so many circulatory benefits. Strengthens the heart, opens up the blood vessels and arteries, gets way down into the capillaries and opens all of the circulation system, will help dissolve, break up blood clots, and keep your circulatory system working really good. Now, if you are on any kind of blood thinner, cumin, rat poison, that's basically what blood thinners are. If you are taking any kind of a blood thinner and you want to try this because you think it would benefit you, then do not take this in a 2-hour window. If you take your blood thinner medication, wait 2 hours before you take this. And the reason is, or if you are thinking about it, take this and then wait 2 hours before you take your blood thinner medication. And the reason is because this does basically the same thing as blood thinners do, but without the poison. It keeps the blood clots out. It keeps the blood in a perfect liquid state, if you will, the viscosity that it should be, and it is just absolutely fabulous. So give it a try, and if you don't mind, comment below. Let me know what you think. Now, I will give credit to a naturalist and a herbalist in Canada named Tony Pantelleresco, who I gleaned this recipe from. And so I appreciate the fact of his research and time, and so I do give him credit for this is not mine. I'm just an old fella that has learned some things, that's all.